morning sun rose over Lula Island, and for the first time in many months, Queen Parucha awoke with a feeling she could not explain: hope. Her faithful companion Gracie noticed it immediately. "Your Majesty," she said, "you seem unusually cheerful today." The Queen smiled. "I know this will sound strange, but I can feel it in my heart. My daughter Maye is coming somehow. I know she and Nunanni are on their way here." Gracie asked when they would arrive. "I don't know," the Queen admitted. Saying the words aloud made them sound impossible, yet deep inside she was certain. Something was changing, and she knew she had little time left before her enemies made their next move. Downstairs, Nancy was already awake. The Queen approached her with urgency. "Nancy, I need a favor." "Anything," Nancy replied. "I want you to go to the main island and tell the fishermen's wives you've heard a rumor. Tell them the Queen has been seen near the great rock on the far side of the island." Nancy frowned. "Why?" The Queen's expression hardened. "Please don't ask questions. The less you know, the safer you'll be." Nancy nodded. "Then consider it done." Soon she was on her way, crossing toward the main island. Once Nancy was gone, the Queen took down the sword hanging above the fireplace. For months she had trained in secret, day after day, hour after hour. The frightened woman who had once arrived on Lula Island was gone. In her place stood a warrior. From outside the cottage she watched Nancy disappear into the distance. Then she drew a long breath. It was time. With sword in hand, Queen Parucha set off toward the main island. Every step carried the weight of painful memories. Fragments of the past haunted her. Moments she still could not fully remember, but could never completely forget. Today she would face the man responsible. Today she would no longer run. Meanwhile, on the main island, Nancy shared her story with anyone who would listen. The rumor spread quickly from home to home, until eventually it reached the one person the Queen hoped would hear it. The doctor. At his clinic, whispers filled the waiting room. "The Queen's been seen near the great rock. The Queen is walking about again." The doctor hid his surprise. "Really?" he said casually. "Well, that's wonderful news." But the moment his patients were gone, he abandoned his calm appearance. Something felt wrong, very wrong. He hurried through his appointments and left early, determined to find her before anyone else did. Back on Lula Island, Lord Viscom and his wife had finally risen. Gracie, worried by what she had overheard, told him everything. Lord Viscom's face darkened. He knew exactly where the Queen had gone, and he knew she would not stop until she found the doctor. Without another word, he grabbed his coat and hurried after her. By the time the doctor reached the great rock, the wind had picked up and the cliffs overlooked a restless sea. He searched the area nervously. "Where are you?" he muttered. Then a voice rang out behind him. "Don't move." The doctor froze. Queen Parucha stepped from the shadows, sword in hand. For the first time, the hunter had become the hunted. He tried to speak, tried to explain, tried to pretend. But the Queen had heard enough lies for one lifetime. What followed was swift. The doctor would never again threaten another soul. When it was over, the Queen stood alone on the cliffs, staring out at the sea below. The victory she had imagined brought no joy. Only silence. Only relief. Moments later, Lord Viscom arrived. For a brief second, he scarcely recognized the fierce figure standing before him. Then he saw the tears in her eyes. "It's over," she whispered. Lord Viscom looked toward the sea and understood. Without judgment, he placed his coat around her shoulders. "Come," he said gently. "Let's go home. Together they crossed back toward Lula Island as the sun began its slow descent across the horizon. Behind them, an old chapter had finally ended. Ahead of them, a new one was about to begin. And somewhere beyond the sea, Maye was drawing ever closer.